Imagine being arrested for reckless driving on the streets of Paris almost 100 years before Henry Ford was born. The year is 1769, long before Benz, long before Ferrari. A brilliant but stubborn French engineer, Nicolas-Joseph Cugnot, has a daring idea. He wants to get rid of the horses that drag the army's heavy cannons and replace them with a power that is purely mechanical. So he builds a beast, three-wheeled, of wood and iron, over 2.5 tons. He calls it the steam dray, and it is, officially, the first automobile in history. But this monster is a living nightmare. Cugnot mounts an enormous copper boiler directly over the single front wheel, and the steering becomes an instrument of torture. To turn the vehicle even slightly, it takes superhuman strength. As if that weren't enough, the scalding steam and black smoke blow straight into the driver's face, blinding him at every step. The top speed? Barely 4 kilometers an hour, slower than a man walking. And the worst part, every 15 minutes the engine runs out of breath. The driver stops, relights the fire with wood, and waits for the pressure to build again in the boiler. In spite of it all, Cugnot wants to prove his worth. In 1771, he stages a public demonstration on the streets of Paris. The beast roars to life. It throws sparks, it makes noise, it terrifies the passers-by. And then, as the vehicle bears down menacingly on a stone wall, the unthinkable happens. The inventor realizes in horror something he had forgotten, the most crucial piece of all. The vehicle has no brakes. 2.5 tons of iron, with all their momentum, slam into the wall and tear it down. This wasn't just the first traffic accident in history. Cugnot is arrested and convicted of reckless driving, another first that no one would envy. The disaster proves fatal. The army is terrified and cuts off all funding. The project is locked away in a drawer, and soon after, the French Revolution breaks out. Cugnot loses his royal pension. Hunted and penniless, he flees into exile in Brussels. He lives in destitution, and his revolutionary vehicle locked in a warehouse, condemned to be forgotten, while humanity keeps moving on horses for another century. Only in the final years of his life does Napoleon Bonaparte recognize what this man had built. He restores his pension and lets him return to die with dignity in Paris in 1804. Today, that very vehicle, the one that caused the world's first traffic accident, still survives. It's on display in a museum in Paris. It is the living proof that the man who changed transportation forever was also the first to fall victim to it. You, if you were in his place, would you give up after such a public humiliation, or would you build the next vehicle with better brakes? Write to me in the comments.